first, I wanted to give Captain Jack a chance to explain briefly how he happened to become legally named Captain Jack.
Yeah, I was involved with the Occupy movement, as was Bob, back in 2011 and to about 2013 or 14. And one of the demonstrations involved some pirates going into the Skyway to do a demonstration against U.S. Bank in the Skyway system there. And the plan was we were going to dress as pirates, and the only pirate outfit I could get that day at the costume shop was a suit for Captain Jack Sparrow. So I got the suit, we did the demonstrations. I was arrested at that demonstration, and because of that, I decided to change my name to Captain Jack Sparrow. It had nothing to do with running for office. I never thought about running for office at that time. It was just about my political activities with Occupy at the time.
And in 2013, I was involved in running for mayor and also was involved in recruiting other people to run for mayor and to take various political principles. You can put your political principle on the ballot up to 3 words. And so I asked CJ, and I didn't know his name at that time was Captain Jack Sparrow, and didn't know about the character Captain Jack Sparrow in the movies. This is an example of how oblivious I am to some of what's going on in pop culture. But I asked CJ if he would run on the political principle of count all rankings, and he agreed to do that. At that time, the cost for filing was $20, and we recruited a number of candidates in that election, including one person who was homeless, one person who was facing a potential eviction, and in doing this we were able to raise a lot of issues, and we'll have a graphic up here showing a photo taken of that time showing the political principle of a group of candidates that were running for mayor. So that's a little bit more background on that, and I appreciate your being willing to run. I should tell people also that just in terms of the provisions for the office of Lieutenant Governor, they're kind of muddled, in my view, in the state constitution. As far as I can tell, there is actually no specific job description for the office of Lieutenant Governor. There are no required duties. In addition, the office of Lieutenant Governor is not an impeachable office. There's a list of people who can be impeached, and the Lieutenant Governor is not on that list. So I'll be putting out a written proposal for reform of the office. But as things stand right now, if this ticket, if we're fortunate enough to win the primary, then we'll just see what happens and explore different things after the primary. And if Minnesota voters don't like what we come up with, then of course you're always free to vote for Governor Walz. So that's pretty much the ground rules that we're operating on. Now, of course, when we were talking about this, there was no commitment on your part as to having to do anything in particular, and no ideological test, no litmus test for your being on the ticket. So those are the ground rules as I've understood it for this primary race. What would you like to add at this point?
Well, I'd like to add that I'm not normally a Republican. I joined the Republican race here, but usually I'm more Democratic in most elections. Right now I'm a member of something called the Forward Party, which was founded by Andrew Yang. And it's not really a party, it's a political action committee, even though it says party. We're actually going to change it now just to Forward. They took the word party out of it. But that's an organization that's trying to bring together people, more conservative and more liberals, to work together in a more unified fashion to try to get away from the extremes on either side. So I don't really have any loyalty to the Democratic or the Republican Party. My loyalty would be to the people who elected me. And that's just a little more background on what my motives and priorities may be.
And I should mention, in terms of the requirement for filing for office, The requirement is for a partisan office in Minnesota that you have to have either participated in the most recent precinct caucus for that party, or at the time of filing, you must have intended to vote for a majority of that party's candidates in the coming general election. So that is the criteria according to which both I and Captain Jack Sparrow were eligible to file in the Republican Party, just to clear that up. But I appreciate this opportunity to have both of us introduce ourselves to you and explain a little bit about Captain Jack Sparrow and his background and how he happened to be on the ticket with me. Is there anything that you want to add to kind of wrap this up?
Well, did you mention that we both ran for mayor, actually on a couple different occasions?
Yeah, and of course we both did run in 2013. And that was the year where the filing fee was $20, and with that low barrier to participation, we had 35 candidates on the ballot that year.
And I ran in 2017 as well, and Bob started out running too, and then he dropped out of the race, I think.
That's right, yeah. And then of course I ran last year as a Republican in the 2021 election, got about 8,000 votes when you count all rankings, all three, first, second, and third.
And I ran for county commissioner in 2014, and I got about 10,000 votes. That's about half of what I needed to win when I ran against, I think it was Peter McLaughlin.
Peter McLaughlin.
Yeah, he was, so we both had quite a bit of experience in running for political office.
Well, I appreciate your doing this and being an enabler, and so I think that we've had a chance to introduce both of ourselves to the voters of Minnesota, and we'll just see what happens after the primary if our ticket happens to win. And again, just to remind everybody that whatever we come up with after the primary, if you don't like it, you can always vote for Walz. That's always an option, and I don't think he's been that bad a governor. So thanks for listening, appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm Bob again Carney Jr., and I approve this message.